Incremental readings. Let's introduce what is spaced repetition. We have mentioned spaced repetition. Perhaps you already know what it is. It's an smarter way to learn and never forget what you decided to remember. But let's do it, let's say, with some of Supermemo flavor in this course. So what's the problem? The forgetting curve. You may perhaps have heard that in the 1880s, Hermann Ebbinghaus, who was a psychologist, German psychologist, discovered what he called the forgetting curve, that we forget exponentially. Yes, this is true. Without review, the information we learn is gone very quickly, especially if you cram. But what he did was for nonsensical letters, that this is a big limitation. But that's not the focus of this video. There was a solution for this forgetting. Repetition. If you repeat in intervals, you will keep this on the memory. And spaced, because it's spaced on time. It's not in a fixed interval. It grows every time there's more time between repetitions. And it works by showing you the information at the precise moment before when you're about to forget it. Why? It's how human physiology works. When it's about to be forgotten, it's like on steroids. The effect is called the spacing effect. It's a lot more powerful. That if you do it ahead of time, that okay, thank you for the reminder, but I could have remembered that for an extra month. So actually, less is more when it's very timely. Then, successful recalling the information at this critical point dramatically strengthens the memory. Even if we are not going to dig why, just we announce it. And each review flattens the forgetting curve. So each time it's flatter and flatter, that we need more time to forget it. Okay, so how does it work in very high level? Active recall. So instead of passively rereading, we do active retrieve. So we are making an effort to revisit that memory. So my neurons do something. We're not going to go into the medical scientific jargon. Well, just a few words, keywords, but I will just drop them. You do the synapses, right? So in plain English, you revisit the same path. You redo the same path or a similar path to that memory. And revisiting this strengthens that memory. It will be easier to go there, so to retrieve it later. That's why it needs to be active. Like, what is the capital of Australia? That is very different. That if I read, the capital of Australia is Canberra is the capital of Australia. Washington DC is the capital of the US. Why? Because I don't have the opportunity to do all of this path mentally. Then, the algorithm, according to the feedback of the user, hey, I remember this, I don't remember that, I lapse it. Perhaps you have qualitative grades that I fail, but big time or not big time. I remembered, but I struggled. I remembered, or that was super easy, right? Some qualitative difference between pass and fail. And according to this, the scheduling algorithm will schedule the intervals, the reviews. Hey, this is very short, by the way. In Supermemo, you could even go here straight. But to make my point, that we do it today, so you create this today, so this counts as a review in Supermemo, and we're going to see it in 2 days. If I succeed, in 1 week, 3 weeks, 2 months, half a year, and it grows. If I forget it, this will be reset. So what's the key takeaway? Spaced repetition is not about studying more. It's about studying smarter. You don't want a huge bucket so you have more time until it runs out of water. No, you want the leaking to be tinier. Then spaced repetition works with your brain natural rhythms instead of against them. And in case of spaced repetition in Supermemo, adjust to your forgetting and to your target. If your target is 95% retention rate, this already implies 10% forgetting index, more or less. It's not 100 Both don't at 100 necessarily. So if you perform worse, it will adjust the intervals so you increase the retention rate to your desired 90% or 95. And if you are overperforming, it will increase the intervals so you lower your performance to your target. It adjusts to you, not goes against it. By optimizing when you review, you can learn more information in less time and retain it for life. Undoubtedly. Because you do the minimum number of repetitions required. And this will be surprising to you if you come from Anki, let's say, especially before FSRS. In Supermemo, you can do 6 or 7 repetitions, and you have already decades. You will see this once again in your life, or twice at most. At most. Just it. If you don't lapse and so on. We were thinking to simplify that you always remember, you don't lapse. So that has been more or less the introduction of what is a spaced repetition, why it's so awesome. It was created about 4 decades ago, and now people are catching up. But in Supermemo, there's something else that is incremental reading, that is a superset of that. It's even better. But that is everything for now. See you incrementally.